Alright, so the long-awaited video. Been a while since I've updated you guys on the YZ450F turbo project that I've been doing. But as you can see, quite a bit of progress has been made since that last video. You can see we got the nice billet wheel EcoBoost turbo, courtesy of Ford. Shout out to Ford. I'm sure their engineers never intended their turbo to be on a YZ450 single cylinder, but works good, so as you can see, I got the charge piping all done. This configuration right now is kind of intended for testing purposes only. When it's all said and done, I will be redesigning this charge piping to run along the contour of the stock bearings. I personally think it'll probably look a lot cleaner running along the fairings opposed to how it's ran right now. I kind of made that charge piping just out of impatience, I guess you could say, mostly due to the fact that I was having a I don't know, I guess you could say a refined plenum configuration made. So as you guys can see, I have this metal plate right here with a V-band attached to it, and that's pretty much the boost box, I guess you could say, or air capacitor. It's pretty much like a just a large volume of air pre-throttle body. So with this setup, I pretty much incorporated the stock rubber intake boot, which looks like this, because a lot of people are still unaware of the fact that this motor is reverse of pretty much every other dirt bike engine on the market. So the exhaust exits through the rear and the intake is on the front side of the motor. So you can kind of see it. That's the throttle body right there. So connected to the throttle body is this rubber boot right here. And pretty much what I did to make a simplistic solution is I took a 1/8 inch plate of aluminum and pretty much bolted it to the top surface, or to the mating surface of that rubber plenum, to pretty much make a leak-free seal, so that way it could be pressurized and wouldn't leak. I took some Right Stuff sealant. This is some RTV compound that's used pretty heavily in like the racing scene. It works pretty good as far as you know, sealing up intake manifolds and whatnot. So after I made that plate, which is made out of 1/8 inch aluminum, prior to this I tried something much thinner. I want to say it was like around 45 thousandths. It was pretty much the thickest plate aluminum that Home Depot sold, because I couldn't find any plate aluminum thicker than that locally. And that only worked for, I want to say, about a day or so before the manifold pressure overcame the structural integrity of it. So it actually ended up bowing and it blew out the seal, like right where it made it against the rubber intake plenum. So I went to the 1/8 inch aluminum and I haven't had any problems since. So after the plate was fabricated, I pretty much went with a 1 3/4 inch V-band, as you can see here, and that was pretty much the start of my charge pipe. I wanted to put 2 rubber couplings in it just to account for like any vibration or anything, because as I've reiterated like a bunch of times on a lot of the social media platforms where I've been documenting this build, is I'm not giving up any type of form or functionality with the bike. So you know, it's still a dirt bike through and through. As you can see, it's in supermoto trim right now, but I actually just ordered a brand new set of Dunlops for my dirt wheels, which I'll be putting on probably tomorrow afternoon. So I'm running a Tile 50mm blow-off valve. A lot of people thought this would be too big for this application, but it actually works excellently. Running a 38mm Tile wastegate. It's actually a knockoff unit that I got off of eBay. It works for the most part. No complaints out of it. Still haven't incorporated the clutch lockout yet. I'm actually thinking about ordering that probably later today. The only thing is, I'll have to have a spacer made for this clutch cover, because the actual clutch lockout mechanism, I want to say you need an additional 2 inches of space to account for it physically. So it'll actually push this cover out 2 inches. And once I get the spacer to go between the actual clutch cover and the case, this turbo drain will actually be relocated to like somewhere around this area. So I'm actually thinking about just welding the fitting straight into the actual spacer that's going to be between the case and the actual clutch cover, just to you know, keep everything tucked and tightly packaged. I've been actually riding the bike for I want to say about a week now. Initially I struggled with tuning it. Part of it was because of me, because with the dyno jet kit, because that's what I'm running currently in order to tune it, specifically the Power Commander 5. They actually give you a 3-bar map sensor, which I have mounted behind this fairing, so you can't see it, but it's pretty much a 3-bar Bosch map sensor, and you basically tie it into your existing map sensor connections. So the issue I ran into was that I was under the impression that since I'm running a 3-bar map sensor, I take the stock map sensor that comes in the motor from the factory out of the equation. So that was a big no-no. By doing that, I actually put the ECU into a limp mode because it wasn't seeing the stock map sensor connection. So I kind of bumped my head on there a couple times trying to tune it without the stock map sensor. So I basically soldered the stock map sensor back in, and then from there on, tuning has been pretty seamless. But as you can see, just take a little walk around of the bike. It's a charge pipe, wideband O2 sensor, super tight. You can see it. It's not touching the radiator, but it's close. This is a 2.5-inch stainless mandrel bin down pipe that I made. Had to slightly shave down those aluminum bosses that are casted onto the head. I mean, it wasn't much. I just pretty much had to take an angle grinder to them a little bit. Nothing excessive, but full return style fuel system. So as you can see back here, I am running a Racetronics boost reference regulator, all Earl's PTFE lines, because the bike is on E85. You can see the return fitting right here that hooks up to the bottom of the regulator. So this line pretty much just bleeds any excess pressure out of the regulator once the actual base fuel pressure is met, which is set by that set screw right there on top of it. So I'm running a 29 PSI base right now, because I'm running a pretty large injector in the bike. It's actually a at 3-bar base, which is 43.5 psi. The injector flows 1160 cc, so it's a pretty hefty injector. But I want it to have, you know, I didn't want to put myself in a situation where I didn't have enough injector, because the E85 you need quite a bit of fuel volume or fuel flow. So start it up for you guys. So far I've hit, I want to say, about 10 pounds of boost. The best way I could describe the power delivery on this bike is pretty much, I don't know, it feels like a 4-stroke down low but a 2-stroke up top. Like it's kind of like the best of both worlds. So but I'll start it up for you guys so you can hear it. It has a pretty nice tone. I mean, you know, when taking into consideration how short the downpipe is. But yeah, let me fire it up for you guys. And so doesn't sound too bad. Doesn't sound too bad. So plan on getting some riding videos this week. Like I said though, this is, you know, still in the testing stage, but I'm still kind of playing around with the Power Commander software, because I'm no tuning wizard by any means, so this is a huge learning curve for me. But I've been playing around with different air fuel ratios as far as the transition from vacuum to boost goes. The bike, it seems to like a richer AFR, you know, than you would generally run on a boosted application and like a regular, you know, passenger car. But so yeah. But like I said, I'm still kind of playing around with that a little bit. This is a higher compression motor, so it's a 13-to-1 motor. So I'm trying to compensate for the boost, or putting a higher compression motor under boost with you know, a little bit of extra fueling, and it seems to like it. I mean, just going off seat of the pants. But yeah, so like I said, I've hit, like, I want to say like 9 to 10 pounds of boost, and it's just absolutely retarded. Like, I know I'm probably stressing the clutch like crazy, because you know, I've been paying attention to the actual I guess you could say filthiness of the oil, and it definitely looks dirtier than normal. So I know there's probably like a good bit of clutch material in there, because I've been absolutely thrashing on this thing the past week. But excited to take it on dirt though. That's one thing I really want to see where it performs, or how it performs, is off-road on dirt. So I'll try to get another video this week. getting a GoPro soon, because a lot of people are really beating up on me with getting some riding videos, and which is completely understandable, because it's not a lot of bikes out there like this. So I'm trying to document it as much as possible. I stay in an urban area, so I don't really have any good stretches to get any like top speed runs or anything. So going up north this week, and I should have a lot of room to get some nice footage for you guys. So so until then, you got any questions regarding this setup, you can either hit me up on Instagram, leave a comment, or leave a question in the comments, or you know, some of you guys know I document this on TikTok as well. So any three of those platforms, you can hit me up. I'm pretty much an open book regarding this setup. So yep, until then, yep, have a good one. Yeah, so in regards to this Plenum Design, like I said, this was pretty much a temporary solution just so I could get the bike up and running. So with this new piece right here, like I said, a buddy of mine in North Carolina fabricated this for me, and it came out absolutely awesome. This is a much larger plenum, and pretty much what I did is I took a I bought a Twin Air Power Flow air filter kit, and I used their bottom base, which you can kind of see in there. The air filter would normally be fastened to the bottom base with a screw, that threaded stud right there. So I pretty much just repurposed it and used it as a weldable base to add a dome for more plenum volume, which is always desirable, especially with these turbo builds on single cylinders. The larger plenum will actually promote more low end torque, so yeah, it'll make more power, you know, pre-boost. And another thing that I incorporated into this plenum top is a pressure port. So this pressure port will basically be used to simulate boost pressure for bench testing, just to make sure this piece is actually sealing. I mean, it would probably be a better alternative to have a completely metal piece opposed to this rubber piece, you know, just for peace of mind as far as sealing boost pressure goes. But I figured, since it's incorporated into the stock design, why not at least try it? I mean, because this isn't a thin molding by any means, so I figured I'd at least give it a shot to see if it'll work. And I mean, I've been using it on this with this setup so far, and it seems to be holding pressure pretty good. But that was the whole theory behind putting that pressure port there. So this is a 1/4 inch port, so I'd be able to, you know, thread a like your normal air compressor chuck fitting into it, and pretty much simulate boost pressure by slowly creeping up on air pressure with a manual adjustable regulator. So and that's something that I could just easily screw in with this already installed into the bike, just to make sure that the whole intake track is sealed properly. So this piece right here will actually be replacing this flat plate, and once this piece is installed, that's when I'll start the new charge pipe design, which will run along the contour of that fairing, because this is a pretty critical place right here as far as leg and knee placement goes, as far as controlling the bike, especially on off-road. So that was something that I took into account as well. But like I said, this is just a temporary design as far as testing went. So so yeah, once this goes on, that's when I'll make that new charge pipe, and it'll be completely eliminated from this area right here. So yep, stay tuned. That was just something that I forgot to incorporate into the video, so I just, you know, had to make this just to let you guys know what was going on as far as the charge pipe revision went. So stay tuned.